Good morning, Trinity. I've been thinking this morning about how rain is a gift from God and a sign of His grace, a gift of His grace and a symbol of His grace. The forecast says it should be raining when this video goes out, whether it is or not. I encourage you next time it is raining to think of Psalm 65 and how rain is a sign of God's grace. Psalm 65:9 says, "You visit the earth and water it. You greatly enrich it. The river of God is full of water. You provide their grain, for so you have prepared it. You water its furrows abundantly, settling its ridges, softening it with showers, and blessing its growth. You crown the year with your bounty. Your wagon tracks overflow with abundance. The pastures of the wilderness overflow. The hills gird themselves with joy. The meadows clothe themselves with flocks. The valleys deck themselves with grain. They shout and sing together for joy." Now, this year, I've been reminded over and over again how rain is a gift from God. On a personal level, I've been gardening more, and so many of you who go out and water in the mornings probably know that feeling of looking out the window and seeing that God is doing your watering for you. You get a little bit of extra time to sit there with your cup of coffee instead. And of course, this year we've been praying for rain to clear out the air, to help the firefighters. I'm so thankful to be on kind of the other side of that little challenge due to how many, the smoke part. I know they're still fighting fires. Since so many of the things that have been challenging this year, they come and they don't seem to have passed yet. They just get stacked one on top of another. I'm so grateful to go outside and for the rain that came. And Psalm 65 reminds us that God is actually giving us more gifts with the rain than we even realize. He's watering the trees that, it's one thing to water my tomato plant so that I can eat some tomatoes, but He's watering the trees in the forests so that I can breathe. He's making the pastures of the wilderness overflow, those fields that nobody cares for except for God. He is watching over them. And in Matthew 5, Jesus reminds us that God makes the rain fall on both the just and the unjust, and says because we want to be like Him, we should love even our enemies. In any case, I would encourage you any time when it's raining to look out and recall that the grace of God is raining down from heaven, both in the rain itself and all that it provides, and over all people in all sorts of ways. Recall that it is a sign of the abundant grace of God.